Today we have one of the kings of deck building, and you probably don't appreciate that joke because I haven't said who the guest is yet. Hey everybody, Nick from OnGaard TCG, and today we have a wonderful player, OnGaard TCG, who you can commonly find at the top tables of a lot of online events, and is just a really good player, and cobbles together these decks that just shouldn't work, and yet somehow they do. I don't understand it, but we're going to find out a little bit more. If you haven't already, if you're not familiar with OnGaard, please go check out all the links to their socials in the video description. YouTube and all that kind of stuff is there. And if you're in the mood to click stuff, you can click subscribe on this channel, and you can leave a like and a comment. All those things tell YouTube this is a good channel and other people should watch it. If you're in the market for some TCG accessories, I'm affiliated with Dragon Shield, so you can use the link in the video description to get yourself some awesome Dragon Shield matte sleeves. They're the only ones I use. You show up to regionals looking and feeling like a pro. And I guess if you want to help support the channel a little bit more directly, you can click the join button. You click it and it tells you all the different perks you get for becoming a channel member. But none of that's ever expected. Just you being here is enough for me. I'm in a pretty good mood. So I'm like amped. I'm ready to go. I'm feeling it. I'm ready. And put me in, coach. I'm ready. But I'm also the coach here. So let's go meet OnGaard. OnGaard, thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to have you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Of course.
What do you prefer me to call you? Just wondering.
Nick is fine.
Cool. Thank you for having me, Nick.
Oh, of course. So your name is OnGaard, and you call yourself the king of binder drop decks. And I've seen some of the things you've played in late night series, and binder drop is accurate.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I gave myself the name King of Binder Drop Decks. I just heard, like, Grant call me that, and then I kind of rolled with it.
Okay. And yeah, but despite the fact that they might be perceived binder drop decks, you still get results with them, which is extremely impressive. You're frequently at top results, top tables of things like the late night series and other larger tournaments.
Yeah, I do try to make lists that'll actually work. It's not just me throwing things into a bag and just hoping it'll work. It's sort of like I see a type of synergy and I think it's good in the specific metagame, but I'm not 100% sure how I'll do with it, and I'm completely resigned to if I just go like 1-3 drop, that's fine. I sort of go into the events with new archetypes in mind just to try and play something that's fun and new and fresh. And if I do well, great. If I don't, that's fine as well. That's kind of my mentality going into those games.
Yeah, you hope for the best, expect the worst.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned that you kind of just get these ideas or things that might synergize or combo well together, but is there a method that you use to actually come up with ideas, or do you just cards pop into your head? You look up at the ceiling and see essentially cards, kind of like the Queen's Gambit, seeing the chess pieces on the ceiling. Is it like that, or like, what's happening in that brain of yours?
In all honesty, most of these deck creations happen past midnight when I'm just kind of thinking about nothing else other than Pokemon cards, and then an idea pops into my head, and then I start building around with it, toying around with it. I test it out for like an hour to 2 hours while I can't sleep because I'm an insomniac. But I end up kind of throwing together some fun lists, and I'm like, this seems fun. This seems like this could be this top deck, this top deck, this top deck, if everything goes well. I'll see how well it runs, and if I think that it's really, really good, I might run it again in like a local or something, but with tweaks based on where I went wrong in the list, playing it through 9+ rounds. That's one of the reasons why I really like playing in late nights, is it's 9 straight rounds, even if you are doing really, really badly, and you can figure out where in your list you should be improving upon.
Right.
I'd say that getting into this game, I was definitely a deck builder at heart, because I loved being able to put together a bunch of different concepts, even if a lot of people didn't see it as like that specific way to build that deck.
So you're a little bit more of a visionary, if you will.
Yeah, I try.
try to see cards for what they're worth outside of the meta, if you will, what's commonly used for those cards, like their specific purposes, which I appreciate as someone who likes to build decks but is awful at it.
Yeah. And admittedly, a lot of them from last format were like Arceus as the base, because it allows you to use so much more flexible stuff.
Yeah.
But then a lot of other just spicy ideas alongside that.
So I think one of the ideas that you had that I latched onto super hard was the Lycanroc Beedrill with Arceus.
Yeah.
And
that one was fun.
I love that deck. I have it built online, I have it built in person, and I've since taken that and have made, my own modifications to it to kind of fit how I like to play and what I want from it.
Yeah.
But it is such a fun deck. Was that one that or I guess this is a better question. Is there a particular deck, whether it's like a ridiculous combo or something that you saw that no one else saw, and that it just happens to be your favorite?
Oh, like a combo that I saw that no one else saw?
Yeah, like one of your creations that happens to be your favorite.
I think my favorite one from last format was the Craxius list that I built for Indianapolis. Unfortunately, lost my win into that, so I ended 5-3-1. But that list played 22 one-of cards with a 3-2 Arceus line, and I felt that was a really good list for the meta. It was just a toolbox Arceus Inteleon list with just a bunch of different options.
Right.
And I felt like I was on the right track for the kind of list that would win the event, because later, after I went back to the hotel after day 1, I checked to see what kind of list made day 2, and saw that Ian Robb was also playing like an Arceus Bird box. And Ian Robb ended up winning that event.
Right.
Which I recorded. I'm like, I'll figure out his list when he inevitably wins the event, and funnily enough, he did.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, I think, one of the more challenging aspects is, like, not only, it's one thing to build a good deck, and it's one thing to be able to pilot a deck, but choosing a deck that's right for that particular tournament. Because something
metagaming is huge.
Yeah, you go to New Jersey, and the metagame is, even though it's the same format, is very different than, say, Salt Lake City. And they're all happening in the same format, but the deck you choose will, really determine how well you could do. So I think that is one of the more challenging aspects. Do you have an approach that you take to help kind of funnel your thoughts and make these decisions?
Yeah, I kind of do, actually. Metagaming is a lot of fun in this. It's one of my favorite aspects of Pokemon, because it inspires you to change up your deck, like, for each tournament that you go to.
Yeah.
So I tend to look at, like, the last big results and events coming out after that. Like, the online events following a regional are sometimes an indicator of what people are tending to gravitate towards. A lot of times the winning lists from the previous meta will end up seeing an uptick in play.
Sure.
But more people will start building to counter those specific decks and respecting the ones that didn't do as well less. So you sort of look at the results of the last tournament, and then you're like, okay, what do I expect people to bring to counter that, and how can I counter both of these at the same time?
Okay, so
that's generally how I look at metagaming.
So you're looking at what beats the deck that won the last big event, and what are people bringing in response to that, because those are likely to be the two most commonly played decks, in your opinion, are the ones that did really well and the ones that can beat the ones that did really well. That's a challenge, and one that I'm someone who does not like change. If it was up to me, I would bring the same deck to every tournament, because that's what I know, that's what I like, and I don't want to change. I want to play the deck that I am good with, and that's challenging sometimes, and it really limits you a lot. But You know, we all have to grow as players in different aspects, I suppose. So that's one I have to work on.
I don't feel like it's necessarily a bad thing to stick to one deck either, because there are a lot of players that tend to pick one specific deck and stick with it through that entire format, and they do very well with it because they just become the best at that archetype.
Now,
but the difference there is that you sort of, if you're picking one specific deck, you have to aspire to be the best at that specific archetype. Whereas if you're better at metagaming, you don't necessarily have to be the best at that specific archetype that you bring. You just have to be able to play the matchups that you hit very, very efficiently. Just not as efficiently as the one who has been playing that specific deck since the deck came out.
It's funny, there's a saying in martial arts, and we have it in jiu-jitsu a lot, is that you shouldn't fear the man or the person who has done 1,000 techniques once. You should be fearing the person who has done one technique 1,000 times.
Yeah, absolutely.
But is that feasible in this kind of format where things are, you know, new Arceus variants are popping up seemingly every day, especially now that we just entered a new format with Astral Radiance? There's going to be new decks that come out of Astral Radiance and therefore new Arceus variants. Can you really stick to the same deck and just be the best at it and have success? Is that something you see as being possible?
I think yes and no, because I think as you go into a new format, you can pick a specific deck that you want to stick with for the entirety of that format, but you also have to watch the format and change up your list for the format. You can stick to one archetype, but a lot of times you will want to change up specific counts of specific cards, add in specific text for specific unfavored matchups, etc., etc. When I was first getting into the game and first started traveling to competitive events and whatnot, I played basically Pikarom almost exclusively for the first beginning part of the season that I played in, and every single tournament that I went to, my list would be different than the last time, but would still be Pikarom.
Right. So you're telling me I can play Single Strike Urshifu for the rest of its time in the format and be okay? That's what I'm hearing.
I think that Single Strike Urshifu, or just Single Strike in general, is honestly underrated. It won the Guard Gauntlet Invitational 1, the one that I hosted.
Right.
But it was mainly like an Umbreon Stonejourner deck. It was like the Umbreons were like the main attacker, and you also had like a bunch of baby Stonejourners to trade favorably with Arceus generally.
Right.
I honestly think that that's an underutilized deck right now. Maybe not necessarily for the beginning of this format, because like the Regis exist, and I guess that's kind of better Single Strike right now. But last format, I felt like that archetype was super slept on.
I always feel like it's slept on because it's my favorite deck to play. But
yeah.
Speaking of decks to play, we're going to play a couple of games. What do you have for us?
All right, so the list I have right now is a Samurott Urshifu list that I've been working on. I don't think it's perfect yet. I've been working on it, and it still needs some work. But that's where we're at right now.
Okay.
So we're going to play that list. What are you playing today?
I have a Machamp Vmax deck.
Oh, yes.
And I have to try it again. I haven't played it since Steuben annihilated me with Victini. But we worked on it a little bit more. And by worked on it, I mean I kind of put it together in like 7 minutes. And but it follows the format of more contemporary Arceus VStar decks, and that you have your Arceus VStars in like a 2-1 Vmax line.
Yeah.
And I just want to see how it does. I want to see, can we make Machamp work? Because I love the Pokemon, I love the card, and I'm looking forward to getting into it.
And all right, I'm going first. I forgot about that.
Yep.
Draw for turn. Attach level wall.
Man, I wish I was playing Arceus Beedrill already.
Oh yeah. I mean, if I was playing against Arceus Beedrill, I would definitely not be attaching Rapid Strikes as flippantly. Because, like, I feel like it's not a bad matchup against Arceus Beedrill, because you kill the Arceuses, and you just discard the Rapid Strikes with your Rapid Flow, and just don't attach them until you need to use Rapid Flow.
Yeah, yeah.
Alright. And then we will pass with that.
Alright, I'm going to draw. I'm going to attach a double turbo. I'm going to drop a bog. And then I'm going to... man. I am going to Marnie.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
And we'll see what I can pull off of this. Okay. We got a Machamp V. That'll take two damage counters from the bog. We got a Sobble that'll also take 2 damage from the bog. And I'm going to Trinity Charge.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Alright, so your active is in Arceus. There's a little bit of glare, so I was trying to see what it was. But yeah,
yes,
active is in Arceus. Does it have anything on it other than the double turbo? Or
nope.
Okay, just that.
Yeah, it's getting KO'd.
Yeah, I will draw for turn. Question here is, what would be best? Level Ball, Search. Okay, I think I know how I want to do this. Let's grab Drizzile for...
I think I know where you're going, and I don't
Net.
want it.
Yeah, no one ever does, to be fair, though. I'm gonna Energy Search to grab an energy of some form. I'm gonna attach that to the Urshifu. Then I will net the Drizzile going into this. Play back down the Sobble. It's going to take 2 damage counters.
Yep.
Evolve Shady Dealings. Search. And I am going to grab... This is the question. Is that the best thing to grab here, or is it better to grab something else? How many cards do you have in hand?
Just 3.
Just 3? Alright, I will just grab Piers here. And I will Piers for... Hisuian Samurott V, and a Dark Energy. Let me put the Piers into discard. Put my deck back there, add these to hand, play this down, and then I will 100 Furious Blows for KO.
Sure. Don't forget the Samurott will take 2 damage.
Yeah, it will. There we go. More die.
Okay, attaching, promoting that with Champ, and I'll draw for turn.
Yup.
We will Level Ball.
I'm about to see a scary Machamp Vmax come into play.
Yes, probably.
Most likely.
The problem is that I have nothing else to do. You know?
That's fair.
So
yeah, I wish I could have drawn some that turn, but I 100% needed to get another attacker down. or else I kind of just lost this game.
Yeah, it's like if I can evolve into the Vmax and then hope I get something decent off the prizes, or I can take a chance and go with a research, you know?
What is the Machamp's second attack?
It does 240. But then
240?
I can't use it the next turn.
Oh. Yeah, I meant the V.
Oh, it does 140.
Ah, okay, so not as hard hitting as I thought it was.
No. Because this only does 50 plus 50.
Yeah. I was just wondering if the second attack actually had, like, some relevant damage number, like 180 or 200 or something.
No, unfortunately.
Yeah,
then
that's
I could,
unfortunate.
yeah, because then I could hope for the VMAX or a choice belt and be okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna play it safe, and we'll go for. We'll get the Drizzile, okay. We'll get the Evo Incense, and we'll get the Machamp and Evolve.
There he is. One strong boy onto the field.
Yeah, one very strong boy.
So how much health does that thing have at this point?
310.
Alright, so it had 330 and took 20, so it's at 310 now.
Correct.
Makes sense.
And this is there. And I just have to Revenge Buster for 220.
Alright. So that will be taking a knockout on the Urchi here.
And we are both down to 2 prizes, or down 2 prizes, I should say. I forgot to remove prizes from us.
Yup.
Because I got distracted.
It happens. Alright, I will draw for turn. I'm going to evolve. Play down a Samurott. Attach here. Quick Ball away Rapid Strike energy. Search. I'm going to grab Crobat V from that. And then play Tower of Waters, Crobat for 5.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
Does that other Samurott came into play before
This turn. Yeah.
but before you put the tower?
Yeah, before I put the tower, yes.
Okay.
So we're going to quick shooting the active real quick. Then we're going to net that Inteleon. Pick it up. Play back down the Sobble, it'll take 20.
No.
Also takes... Oh, wait. Right, I played the tower first. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Well,
right, that's why it's not in play anymore.
The Samurott takes the damage, not the Sobble.
Yeah. I did play the Samurott down... Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I did play the Samurott down before I played down the tower, and then I played tower and then Crobated. So
right.
Yeah, there's 20 damage on that Samurott.
Yes.
I was wondering why, like, we were asking about the sequencing of that, and then I was like, oh, wait, that's because Tower of Waters is getting rid of the Gapejaw Bog.
Yep.
Alright, so now let's go Shady Dealings, Search. Raihan.
Yeah.
Raihan, the energy off of this onto this. So you have 40 on you, which means you have 290 left, right?
Correct.
Okay, perfect.
Which means Choice Belt takes the KO here.
Yep. Or Helllucha. Either one would have been a piece that I could grab.
Yeah. And that's game.
Right.
I can't recover from this.
Yeah, that's just going to be a Moon Cleave into 250.
Yeah. So.
Which is...
Right.
GG's.
A quick game one. It might not have been so bad if I didn't have a pretty bad starting hand, but...
Yeah. Like, if you had any other Sobbles, I think you would have been fine.
All right. Let's do it.
Oh, wait. Yeah, let me Let me make sure not to forget to set prize cards.
Please don't.
There we go. Wouldn't want to lose that way. All right. So I started with a Sobble and a Hisuian Samurott V. Honestly, this has sort of become my favorite starter.
Yeah.
Since Legends Arceus came out.
I'm gonna draw.
Yep.
We are going to. I think for now, Quick Ball a boss.
Yeah. I've always thought it was kind of cool that you were like super proficient in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, because that was also the martial art that I took most proficiently, although definitely not to the level that you have, because I sort of bounced around a lot of different martial arts, but the one that definitely stuck with me most was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But I definitely am not as like versed in it as you would be.
I mean, I've been doing it for 10 years, so that's
Yeah, I did it for about 3, so I'll take my mulligan in the meantime.
Yeah.
Forgot to grab that while I was talking.
And from here, I'm just going to pass.
Gotcha.
I love jiu-jitsu. It's been a huge part of my life, and I don't know how differently my life would have been without it. Because now I teach and I competed a bunch, and it's given me a lot in these past 10 years.
Yeah, like I've taken judo, karate, taekwondo, jiu-jitsu, mixed martial arts, and obviously Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was the one that I stuck with for the longest time. But as you said earlier, the whole, it's better, fear not the man who has done 1,000 different techniques, but fear the man who has done one technique 1,000 times. I definitely am not the one who has done one technique 1,000 times. I am the person who has done 1,000 techniques like once. I'm that guy, the one that's jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing.
That's only half of the saying.
Yeah.
There's more to it. Everyone only knows that first half. So if you're not familiar, with the rest of the phrase, I want to say it's jack of all, master of none, but still better than a master of one.
Huh. I actually have never heard that.
Yeah. So different opinions on what we just discussed,
Yeah, that's kind of cool, the different perspectives about things, because I definitely like being like versatile in doing a lot of things. I like to experience a lot of different things rather than focus all of my energy into one thing, although I do focus a lot of my energy into this particular game. But I like doing a lot of things. It's nice to be able to experience the world. But yeah, I've attached Rapid Strike Energy, and I am going to use Keep Calling here.
All right. While you do that, I'll just take my draw for turn.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to grab 1 Urshi and presumably 2 Sabs.
I'm going to Evo Incense. We're going to get... Let's go with a VStar. I'm going to go back in. It's just a matter of what do I want to get. I'm going to bench an Arceus. Let's see.
The one thing I don't really like about Gapejaw Bog is that things like Keep Calling or Battle VIP Pass, they're just not affected by it because it's straight to bench. It's not from hand. Otherwise, I think Gapejaw would be a lot better.
I'm going to do things a little differently. I'm going to shuffle this up.
Yup.
we are going to scoop up the Sobble and promote this Arceus. And I'll put a choice belt onto this V. We'll bench the Sobble, and then I will research.
Interesting. Still haven't used the VStar power yet either, so you still have the guaranteed Trinity charge, which is nice.
Let's see. From here, I will go ahead and use the VStar power. So I wanted to see what I could find before I... We'll get these two.
Gotcha.
And I'm going to... I actually don't know why I'm shuffling, because I'm just going to bench a Machamp, double turbo. We're going to drop a Gape Jaw. And from there, I will Trinity Charge.
Makes sense, makes sense.
We get those three.
Alright. So where are they going?
It's a good question.
I think in my position, I'd either put 2 on the Machamp, 1 on the Arceus, or 2 on the Arceus, 1 on the Machamp.
I think that's exactly what I was going to do, because now both are just one attachment away from attacking.
Yeah. Like, the only reason I might have put, like, 2 on the Machamp is to be 1 energy away from the bigger 240 attack in case the damage is relevant, but yeah, other than that, it's fine, because it also means you're not nerfing your Arceus by any amount of damage either at this point.
Right.
Yep. Alright. So I am going to draw for turn. And then evolve Rapid Strike Urshifu Vmax. I'm going to attach Rapid Strike Energy to that. Then play down Training Court. Wick Ball away Basic Fighting. And I will check and see if... Okay, it's not prized. So I think we're fine to go second Urshi, and it'll take 20.
No, Training Court's
oh wait, yeah, because I played the Training Court first. I always forget that the Gape Jaw is gone after I have played the Stadium. Right.
I will never keep you from putting damage on your Pokemon.
I keep, like, honestly, just thinking that Gape Jaw is just an effect that you have in playing Machamp.
I think...
Which would be amazing if it was.
I think I could probably intimidate my opponents into putting 2 damage on their Pokemon.
Yeah. Just, like...
I just show up wearing my... I
just show up
wearing a Jujutsu gi with my black belt and be like, there's damage on that Pokemon, I'm pretty sure. And they're like, yeah, I think so too, actually.
Yeah, you punch the Sobble yourself to give it 2 damage counters. Alright, research.
Sure.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I feel like a normal human strength, punching a Pokemon would leave about 2 damage counters on it, right?
I think it depends on the Pokemon. And also, like, there are plenty of instances in the Pokemon anime where, like, B takes a blow from a Machamp. And, like, don't get me wrong, it hurts her arm, but it should obliterate any bones in her body.
Oh, yeah. Like, she's a martial artist entirely. Like, what was it? Wolfric? Was Wolfric the one that has the bear tick? I think so, right?
I don't know.
The Gen 5 leader that has the bear tick. Straight up in Pokemon Origins, he's like, I don't need my Pokemon, and he beats the crap out of like Team Plasma.
Oh, okay.
It's really funny to me how he's just like, I don't need like, who needs Pokemon for this fight? And he goes up and he just hauls ass, which is great. I think that's hilarious to me.
Other people are catching Pokemon. Team Plasma's catching these hands.
Catching these hands, yep. That's exactly what I was thinking, actually. Okay, so I'm going to use Evo Incense, and to save time, I'll also use Level Ball at the same time.
Okay.
And I'm going to grab a Drizzile and a magical little Sammy boy.
A ham Sammy?
Yeah, ham Sammy. He's going ham. Anyway. I'm gonna set that here. Now, the question is, how do I want to go about this next turn? I think I will Shady Dealings for a Evo Incense to have more options for the following turn.
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
Yeah. And then I'll also Training Court that Fighting Back, just in case you have another Gape Jaw Bog to bump that. I want to have this in hand. And I will retreat, discarding the Rapid Strike energy into Urshi, and I will Gale Thrust for KO on that Arceus.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to promote Machamp here. And I'll draw for turn.
Yup.
We're going to Ultra Ball. Oh, I just dropped one of the cards. Drop the Ultra Ball I was about to use. A Fighting Energy and an Air Balloon.
Makes sense, makes sense.
And we need to get Big Daddy Machamp, who is the very next draw. And now...
The absolute Machampion.
Now we will Raihan this energy onto Machamp. And I'll search for a card.
Do you play Hawlucha in your list by any chance?
No, unfortunately, I don't.
Yeah.
Otherwise, feel like things could have got a little dicey for you.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say, I feel like it's really good, even in, like, the Inteleon engine, because you can just level ball for it. It's got 90 HP.
Yes. But what I'll do is I'll get the Bog.
My Training Court. It's gone. Anyway.
And now from there, I'll bench a Saba, which will take 20 damage.
Yeah, so to utilize the first attack, yep.
And let's also Drizzile. And just to... Well, can't... Oh, okay. This hits for...
220 at the moment, I think?
Yeah. 220, so the Choice Belt doesn't matter too much, because that only brings it up to 250. It's not enough to KO your V-Stars, because they don't have damage on them. So, I'm going to go with a Research more for next turn.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then
That's sort of what I did with the Evo Incense for next turn anyway.
And I'll Revenge Buster and put some damage on that Urshifu.
Yeah, some hefty damage on that Urshi.
Yeah.
Alright. So now... I'm gonna go Evo Incense, Search. Let's check and see what's in here. I'm going to grab Shady Dealings Inteleon off of that to grab Choice Belt and... What else would be best here? let's grab Choice Belt and Quick Ball off of that.
Okay.
And I'm going to be going back in with that Quick Ball. Because I will be Quick Balling away a Dark.
Setting up that Raihan.
Actually, I'm setting up something for this turn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think... If I had some other combinations, I had something really spicy I could have done. No, wait, there's 20 on that Sobble, right?
Correct.
Oh, I think I'm taking 4 prizes.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab the Zigzagoon here. It's not gonna matter for this, but... I
assume you're going to scoop up net something.
I'm actually not gonna net anything. I have... Oh, wait, that was bottom of the deck. Alright. So I have Belt, Attach, Boss Arceus.
Oh, okay.
The reason I was quick balling was actually to Dark Patch this back.
Okay.
However, I just realized that I can go
Mooncleave Star?
Mooncleave the Sobble for a prize. And then Rapid Flow the active in your Drizzile for the remaining 3 prizes.
Crazy.
Yup.
Oh my goodness.
I love this deck. This deck is so much fun.
I needed to get... I do run 1 copy of Path, and I was thinking about getting the Path to stop you from using Mooncleave, but I needed the... Because I put 2 energies onto that Arceus, I needed to get the Bog so I could do more damage with the Revenge Buster. Otherwise, I could have Pathed, and I mean, who knows, you might have had a Training Court or a Tower to just bump it immediately anyway.
Yeah, I honestly kind of thought you were playing a Path. So the earlier turn where you Trinity charged the 3 energy, I think putting 2 on the Machamp would have been really good there. Because if you put 2 on the Machamp, it would have been 1 attachment away from the 240 attack, which isn't affected by damage counters, so you could Path and also 240.
Right. Yeah. And, but I don't have... I still wouldn't be able in KO territory, even if I didn't have a Choice Belt, and I could grant, sure, but that would only put me at 270, 300 with the Choice Belt, so I would need the Holucha to hit 330, which I don't know how many Vmaxes we're really coming across. You know, this kind of takes a hard loss to Mew. I mean, I run a Sharon's Care just to help with the Mew a little bit, and maybe I can use something like Machamp VMAX to, like, take, you know, put 240 onto, like, a Genesect or something and try to close out the game, something like that, but it's not... Yeah. It's going to take a hard loss to Mew, unless that Path really sticks, but now they have Trekking Shoes, so it's even less likely that it will.
Yeah, like, the Path is very unlikely to stick in this format at this point.
Yeah, so it's just like... Do I really need the Holucha? What am I really using it for? Urshifu? There's not a ton of those. It just happened to be that you are playing Urshifu. And...
Oh, yeah, because it's, like, it's my favorite VMAX, basically, in the game.
And the other one's Ice Rider. Those are the only 2, and neither of them are, like, super common.
Yeah, like, I get that you're building the deck mainly for an Arceus field for the most part, and to some extent, Palkia.
Yeah. Yeah, because this can take care of Palkia.
Yeah, and it seems to take care of Arceus relatively easily, because you just have big, tanky fighting boy that hits through everything.
The V with the Choice Belt, you know, if I have damage, it does 130. That's 260. I can take out a V pretty easily. If Bog was in play when they put down the Arceus, it takes 20 damage. Now I'm hitting that 280 with the belt, with just the V. So, you know, and then the second attack will knock them out with weakness. You know, there's a lot I can do with this. It's just, I don't think it's going to be super great just because of Mew. And, that's pretty much the only thing that's, I think, really stopping this is Mew. Yeah.
Honestly, I kind of like the idea of Machamp with, like, sort of a bi-barrel engine, but also, like, maybe a 2/2 Zoroark as well. And then you just play a Mighty Yena.
I had thought about doing it with Beaverell. I went the Inteleon route because I wanted to be able to cherry pick Grant and Choice Belt to really make sure I'm hitting my numbers.
Oh, yeah. I feel like in that case, you can kind of just Luminion for Grant, because at that point, when Grant's in your discard pile, you just have access to it for the entire game.
Yeah.
And it thins your hand for you to be able to buy barrel to draw more cards anyway, so...
Yeah, I'm going to try it out a little bit more. We'll see. We'll try it with the... You know, originally I built it with Beaverell, so we'll continue to try with the Beaverell, and we'll try the Zoroark, you know, and see how it goes. We'll give it a go. I appreciate the input.
Yeah. Consider a 2-2 Bibarrel, a 2-2 Zoroark, and, like, 1 Altaria, 1 Mightyena.
Which Altaria? The Tempting Tune or the Miracle?
The one that puts a supporter on top of your deck. I don't remember. It's
the dragon one.
Yeah, the dragon one.
Okay. All right.
You could grab Grant, you could grab Boss, you could grab... Like, it's nice for cherry-picking supporters, which is good, and then you just draw into it with Bibarrel after discarding cards from your hand with Grant. I feel like it's a fun little combo that nobody has really experimented with yet, and the Mightyena can give you a decent Mew matchup as well.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll give it a go. I'm not against it, but OnGaard, thanks so much for taking the time to hang out and chat and play some games. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been a blast.
There you have it, Urshifu Samurott versus what did I play today? I played Machamp. I played Machamp Vmax. It went pretty much how I think we all expected it to go, but still had fun either way. Thank you so much to OnGaard for taking the time to come out, chat with us, play some games. I really appreciate it. Again, please go check out all of OnGaard's socials in the video description. And that's going to do it for us today. Thanks so much, and I will see you next time.